Jambo and welcome back. We're going to learn about how to install Tailwind CSS using the CLI, and this is probably the main method which we are going to use throughout the tutorial series. Now to do that, just going to the browser, just go to this URL tailwindcss.com/docs/installation. We used the play CDN at some point, and we played with it here. We've learned how to use the CDN as well. I mean, the play.tailwind.css.com is a playground. Then after that, we learned how to use the play CDN. Now it's time for us to learn how to use the Tailwind CLI, which to me is the best way to use Tailwind because it's way configurable. Now to do that, we first have to initialize, that's npm. That's the reason why we installed the node package manager, and initially we checked. Let's check again. We have node, and to check that you have node, just type node-v. We are not going to learn how to use node, it's just that we are using the node package manager, which is a subset of node, to help us with packaging Tailwind CSS. Now just follow how I'm going to use it. I'm going to turn off the live server, and first we type. So I need to initialize the node package manager, and to do that, first go to the terminal and then just click on new terminal. Since I'm here, I'll just clear, and then from that I'm going to create initialize it, and the way to do it is npm init. Click enter. We'll walk you through the package name. I'm just going to press enter until entry point. Etc. text command, get repository for another. That's it. Is this okay? Yes, that's it. For you to, the way you are going to know that node package manager has been initialized, you're going to see the package.json file, and once I click on it, you see here it says Tailwind CSS files version blah blah blah. So that's how you're able to know that this has been initialized. The npm package manager has been initialized. Now after that, from the documentation, you are able to actually see all these items, step-by-step process on how to use the CLI to install Tailwind. Now I'm going to take the first step. So we are going to install Tailwind CSS as a development initiative, and that's why it has this flag of -d. So if I copy that, the reason why I'm not using the all copy here, and it says copied once you click it, is because I want to go step by step. Now let's first install Tailwind, the development platform. I'm going to clear here and then just paste everything, npm install, and then press enter. Going to take some time depending on your internet connection. If you're in a place where you have a fast internet, the process is going to be faster. Normally, for some people they don't prefer using Visual Studio Code to install this, and they'll prefer using the terminal or the CMD to do this. But for me, I mean, you have this capability inside Visual Studio Code, why not use this capability to actually install all the packages that you intend to use. Now give it some time, then after that we will be able to see a folder being created. That's the node packages folder here. You'll see it in our folder structure here. Now the reason why we are installing Tailwind as a development dependency is because a lot of features are just downloaded for you via this command, and we're able to actually customize all of them to whatever we need. Now from there we will be able to create a tailwind.config.js file using this next command. But before that, you have to wait for it to finish downloading, which is here. It says found 0 vulnerabilities. That means it has finished downloading. If I go to the node modules here, can search for. There are many modules that the Node package manager comes with. I mean, helps you download, and one of them should be Tailwind, as you can see here. See, it's just one of them. That's it. Let's go to the next step, which I already mentioned, is to create the Tailwind config file, which assists us to configure Tailwind. I'm going to copy that and just paste it here. And remember, the way we did this is just going to go to terminal and then new terminal. That's it. Now we have the Tailwind config file already downloaded. Click on it. It only has the content, theme, and the plugins. And the way this comes about is, this is where we are going to tell Tailwind to watch certain files in certain areas. Now from here, I'm going to create a folder called source folder, and inside it I'm going to create actually, before that, just create a folder called src, and then proceed to the next step, which is this here. Okay, we configure the template paths. So to configure that, we are going to copy everything here, because I want everything here. Remember, this is exactly how it looks inside the tailwind.config, but for you to configure how it looks, I'm just going to copy that, and you see, same structure as the one on the website, only that in the website there is this code here, which I'm going to explain. Now remember, I said I've just highlighted everything and pasted as well. I'm going to save. Now what this code means is you're going to import Tailwind, the CSS, and the config, as you can see here, initially every time you run the files. Now the watch files are supposed to be in the watch folder. This means in the root folder there is a folder called source, which we have created here, and inside it you want to watch all the folders, and inside the folders you want to watch everything that has an extension of HTML and JS. Okay, that's how you're able to tell Tailwind to watch everything in this file, I mean this folder. Then after that, you need to add the Tailwind CSS directive to your CSS. Then inside the source folder here, I'm going to create one file called input.css. So you can just click on the folder name here and click on this file, then input.css. Inside this input.css file, I'll just copy all of this, and these are Tailwind directives, which shows where to get everything. So these are the base classes. It just tells us what are we going to use in Tailwind CSS. We are going to use the base, the components, and the utilities. Save that and proceed to the next one, which is we are going to start the build process. And the build process basically just tells what it just tells the package.json what to do with our Tailwind structure as well. Okay, so if I run this command, let me just copy and paste it here. Now before I run this command, what it means is you're just telling telling the Node package manager that in Tailwind.css the input folder is this. I represents input, so it's the source folder input.css, which we have created here. You see, the source folder input.css, and then the output folder, which is -o, is under distribution, then output.css, and then this -watch is a flag that you will always run to be able to run the development mode of Tailwind. So every time this run, is going to check the input and then take everything to the output. Now to do that, let me just click enter, because I've already done it. As you can see, it creates a folder. You see, output.css. If I had not created the source folder, it would have created it as well, but you get what I'm saying. No utility classes when in your source file. This is an extra double check. No, this is just normal. Okay, the input side, these are the three that are there. Okay. The output side, this is what is there. It gives us the base classes, as you can see. Whatever we put in the input CSS here, everything has been output to this one here. Now the fifth and the last process is we start using it in our HTML file, and I'm going to create another file here. This is our fifth tutorial, so I'm just going to create another file here. I'll just say 05 then CLI.html because I'm just trying to be relevant. Then just have the the HTML5 template, and I'll say the title is Tailwind CSS with CLI. It's too long, so Tailwind CLI, and then inside here they direct that we need to copy this link here. Let's see, this link is to the output file, if you remember. So if I paste it here, it just goes to the distribution folder and then output.css, which our previous command already created it. Now watch what happens if I go live. Let me just click on go live. Yes, nothing is here. This is Tailwind CSS CDN, we already done with it. Now let me create a div with a class of BG black. Background should be black. I save it, go to a browser, nothing will happen. So let's go back to the and see if you do this. So compile CSS file to the head section, and we placed it under the meta version. So it's in the head section. This is how it is. If you doubt this, you can actually just do href, then distribution folder, then output.css, then the rel is it's represented, will represent it as a style sheet because it can also be something else. So I'm going to press close this. Let's close that, and we have deleted that terminal. Click on this, then new terminal, and then remember I told you anytime you run it in this manner, npx tailwind, and this flag, if I go to tailwind.css, no, the package of JSON, you see anytime the dependencies is also added this tailwind.css. The other part is I'm trying to check. So npm run watch, you see, or npm. I'm not going to delete all this errors because this is what happens. Run dev. npm just a second. I'm trying to see what it's going to do. So let's try, and here on scripts we need to put something like, let's say if we click on watch, or it can be anything, like let's say compile everything, and then we tell it to be so on this. We remember all these items that we did here. I'm going to copy everything from from Tailwind CSS all the way to watch. Just paste it here, because every time we run this command it needs to be running all these things. Remember, it's giving us a red because we forgot a comma. Okay, so if I clear here, clear, and then I do npm, then run, then compile everything. I just give it a new name. Let's see if this is going to work. Then I hit enter. Okay, no utility classes were dictated in the source files. This is content option, configuration, telling that is, I think everything is fine. If I save and then I go to input, there's the way to know. So let's go to this. Still not it. Output. Nothing yet. Okay. We have a warning here, and that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, Tailwind output. Let's start with the config. So it's going to source folder. You want everything, and the source folder is already here. It's next to the source module. Tailwind CLS package.json. This compile everything. I'm trying to find where. Okay. Now let's go to where these files are. So I'll just do so let's raise the terminal. Okay, enlarge it, and then let's see if this is going to give us another capability. So print working directory if you're in users ghost. So I just want to cd, let me see, it's desktop, then from the desktop I want to go into tailwind.css. I'm trying to find where these files are. Okay. I press tab, CSS, okay, clear, then cd, there it is, Tailwind CSS. Okay, you're now in Tailwind CSS. Then I'm pressing T so that you know. Now we are in Tailwind CSS. I'm going to do npm run, compile everything. Let's hope it's not going to give us. Okay, what did I say? Actually, let's just save and say compile every to make it easier, and press enter. No utility classes, or say if this is enable, check the content option of your Tailwind CSS. It is because this is a common problem. I've created this CLI folder outside the source folder, and you see in our content we said it needs to be inside the source folder. Okay, I'm going to click JSON everything. Let me first of all just delete all of this, and let me see if I delete. So first of all I need to shift this one to be inside the source folder. See, and it says rebuilding. If you go here it says error, cannot get 5 CLI, because the live server is only that. It had taken this folder structure. Let me click on that. I've stopped the live server. Now To go live again, as always, you can click on this button here. Nothing is happening because we have not finished this. Okay, so if I want that to happen, let's go to output, and you see it has pushed. So let me delete this and go to this place here, delete this as well. Okay, you see the output file. Let's delete this. Okay, now ever since we did run this command, we should be able to everything that I put in these input files, because we said under the package.json file, we said everything under the input file is going to be in the source folder, which is the same represented here, not here. Under the config file, we said everything is going to be here. Okay, this is what is being watched. So if I go to this file and just I want you to watch the output file. This is how it looks now. But if I just create a div with a class of bg black, because I want a black background, nothing is there yet, but immediately I hit save, okay, it takes everything here. Now on the live server, nothing is happening because, well, there's nothing in that div. Okay. Now if I want that to have something, let me just copy this here. We're going to use the same itemization. Let's copy and paste here and save it. Go back to the browser, and you see it's now working on the Tailwind CLI. The reason why we were not having anything here is because for those that might be doubting, let me undo everything. I'm going to delete all these classes, because remember, it's just so on this one, delete it. Now let's start afresh for you to let me delete all this, and we create that button as quickly as possible. Okay, so this is how it looks in default. Now let's create a div with the class of bg black. Now you're not going to see anything, but it just sends everything here. Okay, it's copied all the classes again because that's what we pushed again. Okay, but we are not seeing anything here because we've not given a width and a height. If I do a width of 100, save, it's not showing anything because we've not given it a height. Okay, so that's the height of screen. As you can see, now everything is black. Now inside it, we are going to create the button, and the button needs to be, this is CLI, and it needs to have the classes of the same classes as here. I'm just going to copy all of this, including the class option. Control save, and here we have the same thing. Okay, now that is how we are able to use the CLI option to create all these items. I wonder why it's going to be text CLI. This is bg text file py3 py2. Okay, if we actually use the same thing, px capitalized, font is medium, this is a pattern. Okay, either way, that's how you are able to use Tailwind. Remember the mistake we did, everything needs to be under the source folder, because under our config, that's where we said is to be watched. That's it. That's how you're able to install everything using the CLI. See you next. Bye bye.